You can like someone, miss them, think about them all day, and still feel the urge to pull away the second they get too close. You text less, you go cold, you start needing space, you suddenly feel irritated, you stop reaching. And then you sit there wondering, why do I do this every single time? Because from the outside it looks like you lost interest, but from the inside it often feels more like pressure. Too much closeness, too much exposure, too much risk. If that pattern is familiar, this video is for you. First, pulling away when someone gets close is not always about losing feelings. Sometimes it is what happens when your nervous system reads intimacy as danger. And you fear is not always obvious. You may not think, I am scared. You may think, I need space. Something feels off. Maybe they want too much. Maybe I am not ready. And sometimes those thoughts are true, but sometimes they show up at a very specific moment. Right when the connection starts feeling steady. Right when someone becomes consistent. Right when your body realizes, oh, this could actually matter. Is usually when old protection wakes up. As for a lot of people, closeness does not feel soft. It feels expensive. What will this cost me? How much freedom will I lose? How much of myself will I have to give up? When will the pressure start? When will I disappoint them? When will they see enough of me to leave? That is why intimacy can start to feel heavy long before anything is actually wrong. You are not only reacting to the person in front of you, you are reacting to the meaning your body learned to attach to closeness. Maybe love once meant pressure. Maybe attention came with control. Maybe vulnerability got used against you. Maybe being known never really felt safe. So now, even if you consciously want connection, some deeper part of you is still scanning for the bill. If I let you in, what will I lose? That is the core tension. You want connection, but you do not fully trust what connection turns into. So the shutdown begins. Not always dramatically. Sometimes it looks completely reasonable. You get busier, you answer less, you become less affectionate, you start living in your head instead of the relationship. You replay conversations, you suddenly notice every flaw. You feel irritated by things that did not bother you before. That irritation is important. Sometimes it is real, and sometimes it is your mind trying to create distance because your body already wants out. If closeness feels threatening, your brain will go looking for reasons to retreat. That does not mean you are fake. It means your system is trying to justify a move it already feels compelled to make. This is why people can feel deeply lonely and still pull away from the exact thing they keep saying they want. The longing is real. So is the panic. Those two things can exist in the same body at the same time. That contradiction does not make you broken. It usually means your attachment system is overloaded. Another part of this is shame around needing. If you built your identity around being independent, low maintenance, or emotionally self-contained, real intimacy can feel almost humiliating at first. Not beautiful. Humiliating. Because now there is someone whose opinion matters. Now there is something to lose. Now your body wants reassurance, consistency, contact, care. And if needing once felt dangerous, those needs can trigger shame almost instantly. So instead of saying, I think I am getting attached and it scares me, you say, I just need space. Instead of saying, I need more reassurance than I know how to ask for, you say, I am confused. Instead of saying, this is starting to matter to me, you disappear into distance, silence, or emotional flatness. That is the part people often misunderstand. From the outside, it can look cold. Inside, it often feels like overload, too much tenderness, too much exposure, too much uncertainty, too much possibility. Not because love is wrong, because your body still does not believe love can stay safe. And this is why the pattern becomes self-fulfilling. You pull away to protect yourself. The other person feels shut out, confused, rejected. Then the distance becomes real. Then one part of you says, see, I knew this would not work. That loop can go on for years, not because you do not care, because you do not yet know how to stay present when care becomes vulnerable. So what actually helps? First, learn to notice the moment before the shutdown. That moment is small, but it tells the truth. It might feel like restlessness, irritation, a sudden urge to cancel, a need to emotionally disappear. And try to sense that the other person is too much when they may simply be getting close. Catch that moment without immediately obeying it. You do not need to force yourself into closeness, but you do need to get curious before you vanish. Ask, what am I feeling right now besides the urge to leave? Am I scared, ashamed, overexposed, afraid of being needed, afraid of needing them? Afraid I will lose myself in this? That question matters because it slows the automatic retreat. It gives you a chance to respond to the fear instead of just acting it out. Second, separate actual incompatibility from attachment activation. Sometimes the relationship is wrong. Sometimes the person really is unsafe. Sometimes your body is picking up on something important. But sometimes the panic appears because the person is kind, steady, patient, available, actually interested. If your strongest urge to run shows up around consistency, that is useful information. It may mean your system is more familiar with chaos than safety, and what feels familiar is not always what is good for you. Third, practice telling the truth earlier. Not your whole life story, just enough truth to interrupt the pattern. I can feel myself pulling back. I like you, but closeness makes me anxious sometimes. When things start to matter, I tend to shut down. I need a little space, but I do not want to disappear. That level of honesty can feel terrifying, but it creates something distance never can. It gives the relationship a chance to become real. Maybe the other person responds badly. If they do, that tells you something useful. But maybe they respond with patience, clarity, warmth, respect. And if that happens, your body gets a new experience, not instant healing, just new data. I got close, I told the truth, and I did not disappear. That is how trust is rebuilt, moment by moment, disclosure by disclosure, repair by repair. One more thing. If you always become more certain you should leave right after a moment of tenderness, pay attention to that. If warmth makes you want to run, that is not random. If being cared for makes you suddenly focus on flaws, that is not random. If safety makes you restless, that is not random either. Those are patterns. Patterns can be understood. Patterns can be softened. Patterns can change, but usually not through self-judgment. They change through awareness, honesty, and enough safe experiences to teach your body something new. That closeness is not always a trap. You do not need to become a different person to love better. You do not need to force intensity. You do not need to become instantly secure. You do not need to promise more than your nervous system can actually hold. You just need to stop treating every urge to pull away like it is the truth. Sometimes it is a signal. Sometimes it is a scar. Learning the difference is the work. If this is your pattern, start here. Notice the shutdown. Name the fear. Tell a little more truth before you disappear. That may not look dramatic, but that is how real change starts. And so you walk to or so understand patterns you keep blaming on your personality, stay with me. We are going deeper.